மாஸ் கீழப்பாவூர்.
Hi, welcome to Mass Kilapavur channel. I am Dr. Aruna Shanmugavel. Today, we are going to learn about the location, relation, morphology, connections, development, and clinical anatomy of otic ganglion in this video. Before entering into the subject, let us see a motivational quote. If you want to be powerful, educate yourself. Shall we enter into the topic? What is ganglion? Ganglion is the collection of nerve cell bodies in the peripheral nervous system. Such collections in the central nervous system are called nucleus. There are four parasympathetic ganglions in the head region. All these four ganglions are topographically related to the three branches of trigeminal nerve, functionally related to oculomotor, facial, and glossopharyngeal nerves. The ganglions are ciliary ganglion, pterygopalatine ganglion, submandibular ganglion, and otic ganglion. Okay, let us see otic ganglion in this lecture. Since the otic ganglion is larger in long eared animals like donkeys, rabbits, horse, it has got its name otic. Otic means ear. The otic ganglion is situated in the infratemporal fossa, immediately medial to the mandibular nerve, just beneath the foramen ovale. It is pinhead size, 2 to 3 millimeter, and smallest among the four parasympathetic ganglions. What are the relations of the ganglion? The relations are anteriorly nerve to medial pterygoid muscle, posteriorly the middle meningeal artery, laterally mandibular nerve, and medially cartilaginous part of auditory tube and tensor veli palatini. Morphologically, it is seen as a yellowish brown oval ganglion. It may appear in three different types. One is compact type, that is classic ganglionic shape, and this is the most common type. The other two types are lobulated and dispersed type based on how the nerves enter and leave the ganglion. When the number of leaving branches increases, the ganglion appears less lobulated and more dispersed. In the same individual, two different morphological types of ganglions can be present. The connection of otic ganglion, that is, the connections are sensory root, motor root, sympathetic root, and parasympathetic root. Let us see in detail about these roots. The sensory root is the mandibular nerve. The motor nerve is nerve to medial pterygoid muscle from the main trunk of mandibular nerve. This nerve gives a twig to otic ganglion, which does not relay but bifurcates into two branches supplying the tensor veli palatini muscle and tensor tympani muscle. The sympathetic root arises from T1 segment of spinal cord and relays in the superior cervical sympathetic ganglion. The postganglionic fibers pass through plexus around middle meningeal artery. These fibers do not relay in otic ganglion as they are already relayed fibers in superior cervical sympathetic ganglion. The sympathetic fibers are vasoconstrictors. Hope you remember the parasympathetic fibers of otic ganglion. Try to recollect the auriculotemporal nerve. Yes, the parasympathetic fibers start from inferior salivary nucleus, then pass through glossopharyngeal nerve, then through its tympanic branch, that is Jacobson's nerve, then it reaches the tympanic plexus, which lies over the promontory of the medial wall of middle ear cavity. From here, through lesser petersal nerve, the fibers are relayed to the otic ganglion. The postganglionic fibers pass through the auriculotemporal nerve and reach the parotid gland. What is the development of otic ganglion? Otic ganglion appears by 32 to 34 days of embryonic life. By 20th week of intrauterine life, it will be a well developed structure. It is derived from Schwann cell precursors. These precursors migrate through preganglionic axons and differentiate into peripheral neurons when they reach the site of adult ganglionic structure into which they develop. Recent findings show that otic and pterygopalatine ganglions are single undifferentiated cell mass till 16th week of gestation. Then they are separated by growing ala temporalis. Have you heard of this? What is ala temporalis? It is the greater wing of sphenoid. Shall we consider clinical anatomy part now? Right. Hope you remember the phrase syndrome. Please do watch the video on auriculotemporal nerve which I published 2 weeks ago. After parotidectomy, the sympathetic and parasympathetic fibers communicate and stimulate the sweat glands. Severe sweating and redness occur over the area of distribution of auriculotemporal nerve. The treatment for this is either topical application of anticholinergic, antiperspirants, or intradermal injections of botulinum toxin. Surgical procedures like fascia or muscle flaps or fat grafts can be carried out. Recently, interposing barriers between the overlying skin flap and the parotid bed, such as sternocleidomastoid flap, have been used to prevent this condition. Shall we end up this session with a quote? Spot your weakness and work on them. Thank you for watching.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon, select all to get instant notification.